everyone to Morning Moments, where we believe that one moment is enough to change a life. Well, good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Moments. Happy Friday. Boy, was this a busy week. I don't know about y'all, but I'm wore out. Yeah, I'm glad it's Friday. Yep, really glad. Really glad we fell into the end of the week. Really glad that we get to get some rest. Really glad that it's the weekend and we can change our routine. I don't know how much we're going to dial it back, but we will be able to change it a little bit. A lot of things still going on the weekend, but we still got to roll with it. How y'all doing today? Y'all good? Good morning, Sarah. Good morning. Who else is here? Tell me you're here. Who else is amongst us today? Who are the blessed women of God that is on the show today, live and in color? Tell God I'm live and in living color. I'm going to share today. It's sharing day. I promised God. I made some promises to God. I don't know about y'all, but I keep my promises with God. Somebody that'll preach right there. Do you keep your promises with God? I keep my promises with God. God promised me some stuff, and I promised him some stuff, and I try to keep my promises with God. And when I got exposed to this organization chief, which is so very incredible, it still blows my mind when I get in the group and realize who I was in there. I had someone to come forward and apply for a position that I had open. And my recruiter, she has to screen the candidates. I said, this young lady's from Chief. I need you to make sure you screen her and make sure you give her attention. And when she screened her and came back to me, she said, Marvy, this woman is powerful. She worked for the Minister of Defense for the United States. I said, girl, that's the kind of women that's in this group. You ain't no telling who you talking to or who you are around. These are high and powerful women. And yesterday we had a workshop with, well, I wouldn't call it a workshop. We had a fireside chat, I would call it, with Robin Robbins from Good Morning America. I want to bring you some things that she said to us. Just bring you a few little points that she made, because I promised God that this experience that I'm having, I would share with you, with women, other men. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for our Friday, God. Give us grace, give us blessings, give us wisdom and knowledge. Give us your word coming to life. Give us your manifestation. We thank you for everything you've done this week, all the word that you've given me this week, all the things that we have adhered to already. Give us the faith, the tenacity, the focus, and the wisdom to adhere to everything else you have to, to commence this week. We believe it to be so. We know it to be so. And it is so. Amen. I hope y'all had a favorable day yesterday. Anybody got some unusual favor out of yesterday? Let me know. Let me know. It might not have manifested yet, but it did happen. Somebody say it might not have manifested yet, but it did happen. Mm-hmm. That's what you need to speak to some things that are occurring in your life. You get the wrong evidence and you start to doubt, but just speak back to that wrong evidence and say it might not have happened yet, it might not have manifested yet, but it did happen. Mm. I wish somebody would grab a hold of that. That was a nugget. It might not have manifested yet, but it did happen. All right, let's talk about some things. We learned some things about Miss Robin Roberts. She is a mega figure, and they asked her the question, "Where did Joe?" That's it, Kathy. You caught it. Kathy caught it. Kathy caught it. Thank you, Kathy, for catching that. When God gives us little wisdom revelations, we got to catch it, because those are what we're gonna live by. That's what we're gonna get to the next pit stop with. That's what's going to be our strength and our focus. When we get weary and we get weak, we can say to the enemy, it may not have manifested, but it did happen. So we began. That's the, come on, Kathy say caught it and claiming it. I know that's right. So listen, we had a fireside chat with her. We learned some things about her. She's such a great icon. She just celebrated 20 years on Good Morning America. That within itself is incredible. Longest standing talk show host ever. That's incredible. And that's it, Sarah. It did happen. That's it. Might not have manifested yet, but it did happen. Yeah. Listen, they asked her, what motivates you? How do you get your energy? She gets up every day at 3:30 in the morning, very early. So, some of us complaining about getting up at 8:30 and 9 o'clock, and she gets up at 3:30 every day. And she says it's a struggle. I'm gonna be transparent, and I can imagine when you not only do you have to get up, but you get up with responsibility. Somebody say I got up with responsibility. Mm-hmm. I got up. Not only did I get up, but I got up with responsibility today, and you've got to carry it out. And she says that her parents were her inspiration. They're both deceased, and when she began to talk about it, she began to cry. She got real choked up. So you could see the soul tie that she had with them. She talked about how she would speak to them every morning before she would go to work, and they would give her motivation. And she said, they're still with me. She said a friend of hers helped her to understand they're on the heavenly balcony looking down at her, saying, go on, Robin. Go on, Robin. You got this. And that still to this day encourages her. She also, the most interesting part about her is how she acknowledged her spirituality. She claimed being a Christian boldly and openly. And I thought about how some of us, we claim to be Christians, but we not willing to show that banner. We're not willing to display that banner. Some of us can't get to our destination because we're not willing to let go of the past. We're not willing to move forward. We talked about that this week, keeping it moving forward. But she talked about gratitude, how every morning when she wakes up, she puts her feet on the floor she thinks about 3 things she can speak out loud to be grateful for that day. She wakes up, she wants to wake up every day with a spirit of gratitude. I thought that was a good principle. I thought that was a good concept. We all need to be grateful. Grateful lets us know wherever we are, it ain't the worst it could be. Grateful lets us know there is hope surrounding us. Grateful lets us know there is a higher power controlling our lives because we reflect on the victories in our lives each day. You have small victories every day that you should be grateful for. You should reflect on and acknowledge. She talked about happiness versus joy. Happiness is contingent. Good morning, Tracy. Happiness is contingent on circumstances, but joy comes from within. Somebody said, give me some more joy. Tracy, we talking about it may not have manifested yet, but it did happen. We're talking about my fireside chat I had yesterday with Robin Roberts from Good Morning America, just so y'all are up to speed. I promised God that this experience that I had, I would share it with you. So I wanted to just give you some of the important points that I learned. Yes, grateful in all situations. Give me some more joy and more and more and more and more. That's it. That's it. We want joy. Joy is not circumstantial. You can look at your children doing something and all of a sudden joy enters your heart. You can look at somebody accomplishing something and all of a sudden joy enters your heart. You can look at your spouse doing something or observing something and all of a sudden joy enters your heart. You can reflect in your mind and all of a sudden joy enters your heart. Joy is natural. It's spiritual. The joy of the Lord is our strength. Choose joy. She talked about the power of choice, how we choose mentalities. Somebody don't believe it, but every day you get up, you choose a mentality. What is your choice today? What mentality are you choosing today? These are powerful nuggets that I'm dropping with you that I learned. Don't just give of yourself. She talked about how women, we love to give of ourselves. I'm talking about Robin Roberts from Good Morning America. I did a fireside chat with her last night and through my organization chief, and I'm bringing these nuggets to the women of God. It was fulfilling my promise I made to the Lord that I would share this, that I wouldn't just keep it for myself. Don't give of yourself, but give. Don't just give of yourself, because we're givers. We love to give. We love to nourish. We love to pour out. We love to help. We love to support. But give to yourself. Allow yourself to be in a position of receiving. We struggle with receiving. She is an interviewer, and they were interviewing her last night, and I got so tickled because she struggles with being on the receiving end. She admitted it. And every question, she didn't know she was doing it, but every question they asked her, she turned around and asked the interviewer, because she's used to being on the giving end of receiving information. She didn't like the receiving end of it. And she would turn it around and ask to say, what is your favorite book that you're reading right now? She was turning the interview around. The spotlight was supposed to be on her, and she wasn't comfortable in that position. And that was such a lesson for me, because sometimes you got to change chairs. Sometimes you have to change positions, and you have to get on the receiving end of what you normally give. She talked about this too shall pass. And she said a lot of people look at that as the negative will pass. But she said, just keep in mind the good will pass too. This too shall pass. We go from season to seasons. You got to live every day out loud. You have to live every day because it will pass. We will get to another place. She talked about vulnerability as being a strength. It's a strength to be vulnerable. People love vulnerability. We think it's a weakness. It's not. It's a strength. And people are drawn to it. They love when you are human. They love when you're touchable. They love when you're in a place that they can relate to. It is a strength. Also, people want to know your authenticity. They want to know the real you, not this pretense, not your social media brand, not this person you try to portray to be, but they want to know the real you. We got to know the real Robin yesterday. We learned some things about her we didn't know. I learned some things about her I never had heard in what I read. Being up close and personal with someone like that, you get to read their spirits, you get to read their heart, you get to read them and know a little bit better who they are. Your authenticity serves you well. She said, put your feet on the ground and take 3 breaths. Just breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe. Sometimes we just need to breathe and inhale some oxygen. Inhale some strength. Inhale some clarity. Inhale some wisdom. Inhale. Take a moment and inhale. This was the most powerful statement to me she made yesterday. She was singing her gospel songs. She told the people how she listens to gospel on her way to work every day. But this is the most powerful. When fear knocks, allow faith to answer. When fear knocks, allow your faith to answer. Fear is knocking at the door. Sit down and allow your faith to get it. That goes back to our original statement we made this morning. It may not have manifested yet, but it did happen. When that fear kicks in, just tell fear with your faith. It may not have happened. It may not have manifested, but it did happen. Those are just a few things that I wrote down that I gained from her. What a wonderful exposure. What a wonderful privilege. I shared it with you. I was obedient. Vision Journal participants. We getting ready to have our check-in halfway through the year meeting. It's only going to be an hour, and I'm going to do it on a Friday night. It's only going to be an hour, and I'm going to do it on a Friday night. I'm going to give you a save the date. I'm thinking about July 1st. July 1st. We're going to come together and talk about what God has done thus far. It's going to be kind of like a testimony service, and then we're going to get out of there. So if you are a journal participant, get ready, get ready, get ready. I love y'all. Have a fabulous day. Get into the presence of the Lord this weekend. It's the Sabbath, and give him his praise. Get some rest, and we'll be back on Monday. Have a fabulous weekend.